Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's going on?
Today we have an episode where we're gonna unpack the people that we're told to admire and ask, are they really good?
Yeah,
So what did we see? We saw a news story today about somebody.
yeah, it said that all of the Cesar Chavez parades were being canceled
Yes,
because
he's a pedo.
he's a pe they've come to find out he's a pedo and a rapist.
What he was
So,
doing was grooming girls and raping them. So
but
he
all
was,
these years we've been taught that he's a hero and he has roads named after him and everything else,
and
right?
he's done so much good for the cockroaches that come across the border illegally.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there shows you, that's kind of lame.
Yeah,
He's like an advocate for illegal immigrants.
right.
But then also, he's got like young girls that come and they think they're activists and they're doing something good for their people. And he goes, good, good, good. Now take off your clothes. So he proved himself to be a scumbag. And what I've noticed is scumbags usually get big funerals.
Yeah, remember George
Bush,
Floyd?
George Boyd,
Yeah,
Boyd,
I mean, that guy got a huge funeral that was televised, and even during cooties when people weren't supposed to even
and
be.
was he a good guy?
And he got roads named after him and murals and stuff.
He must be pretty much like a saint. Like him
Yeah.
and Saint Augustine are just virtuous people.
Yeah.
But wait a second, I heard some things maybe that might contradict that narrative.
Yeah. So we're starting to wonder if maybe most, if not all, of these people that we've been taught throughout history are these heroes that have had like streets named after them and like they get parades and they go down in the history books as like changing the direction of,
They get
history.
huge funerals where we
Yeah.
get told to worship these
Yeah.
people.
We're starting to wonder if maybe they are not good people and they have been, to use your word that you like to use a lot, foisted on us through all these years as being, you know, these people that we should admire and respect. And it turns out that it seems like, I don't
They're
know.
scumbags.
Yeah.
Like, that's why the culture club props them up,
Yeah.
is because they are in the culture club and they're playing a role.
Right. And, I had a little bit of an epiphany. So it seems like a lot of these, like, it's always like usually the libs that jump on board with these things, but
Yeah.
they're kind of like the ones that like really, I think they like think they're doing good. They're like little social justice warriors. They jump on board with these narratives and follow along and they like join the crowd and, the parades and all this stuff. And they think that this is like a good cause. It's always a good cause. Like, I have this one friend, and she still to this day has those people lives matter sign in her window. Like after all these years, she still hasn't figured out that that was a whole orchestrated thing that was
Those
run by
communist
communists.
lesbies,
Yeah,
lesbo
I
commies.
mean, so like uninformed and basically ignorant to what really that whole thing was about. And even though it's like it's like old news, she still has this poster up in her
I saw
window.
this dude, he was talking about virtue signaling,
Yeah, that's what it is, and that's what those people do.
and he was talking about the psychological like dynamics of virtue signaling. And virtue signaling is a, a behavior that springs out of self-hate.
Interesting.
He said they hate themselves because they're capitulated,
Hmm.
they're compromised, they've sold their soul for money and power. So they're the kind of people that will go and spend $10,000 to go eat tofu and be quiet for 5 days.
Yeah.
And that's a virtue signal. And what it is um, they'll film themselves buying a Starbucks for a homeless dude
Yeah.
and then go post it on LinkedIn
Yeah.
and just have like a bunch of people like it. And
Hmm.
then when they get that validation, they can assuage their self hate and say, see, I'm a good person.
Yeah.
Look at all these people who are applauding how good I am.
It's like it's a follower mentality always, and it's like they need like people to tell them that they're good people. And so when they jump on board with these various causes, I think there are some that think that they're doing a good thing and it's a good cause. But I think a lot of them, most of them are like what you're talking about. I think they think it's like cool and trendy. It's like the cool and trendy thing because all of those people, what I've noticed is all of the people in those groups in those crowds, they're all followers. It's
Totally.
a follower mentality because it's whatever is the like cool or trendy headline of the day or week or month or year or whatever that they want to jump on board with and join the bandwagon. They
That's
want to
exactly
join the
right.
bandwagon.
That's exactly right. And the other thing too is they have huge egos. And so when you go tell them, dude, like
Those
those
people
people lives
lives
matter,
matter was a communist run
it was
organization.
run
They
by
were all
these
paid for.
it was first of all, it was totally paid for by that country from 1948, and it's run by black lesbians who moved. They took all the money from BLM, and where'd they move? To a 99% white neighborhood.
Interesting.
So if those people lives matter is so scared of the evil whites, why are you going to go live in a white neighborhood? Go live in the hood where you can be safe and surrounded by other people.
Yeah.
Ah! So what I'm thinking is you go tell that lady all of those facts, and she's got too much of an ego to admit that she got duped. So
Right.
she doubles down on her support for it.
And she gets a second sign to put up.
And BLM is all part of, remember the one girl who's like my sister in San Francisco?
Mhm.
She's got their whole like ethos
Yeah.
posted in her window.
Yeah.
So it starts off with no person is illegal.
Yeah. Love is love.
And then those people lives matter.
Yeah.
Love is love. What's the other one? It's like trust the science.
Oh yeah.
Trust the science.
Yeah.
Wear your mask and get your pokies.
Peter Hotez is my idol.
Peter Hotez is a rock star, and I'm a big fan. So they have their whole ethos, and if you go and you break down their ethos, and you say, "But wait a minute, 200 million-year-old dinosaur bones," and they go, "Just shut up."
Shut up. They like that business card that the Culture Club gives out. The first thing on it.
I love that.
Shut up.
I think another one that makes me think is Martin Luther King,
Oh.
MLK. I think he was not a good dude. I think he was in the Culture Club.
You think that whole thing was script?
It was all script. And why was it script? It was, let's so divide between blacks and whites. And
I think that could be the case.
because he kind of rose up like, okay, so let's kind of unpack. Okay, 1963, my theory is those people from 1948 killed Kennedy and took over our country.
Yeah.
Then, right in the wake of that, LBJ, who we talked about, is one of their minions.
Bad dude.
But then also MLK, he kind of came up in that milieu.
Right.
He was part of the, what's it called? The civil rights movement. Go ahead.
So it was all part of that plan at the time.
Yes, he was part of that plan. So I think he went out, did script, and his script was mean old whiteys are bad.
Mm.
And we need to move away from, because when it was mostly white 1950s America, everything was like clean. The schools were the best in the world. We had safe communities. Our military was strong. We were the apex civilization of all of humanity in 1950s America. Then those people from that country from 1948 took over out of envy, and they said, we need to vilify whites. And I think MLK's role was to do that.
Wow, that is such an interesting and very profound theory.
Yeah.
I could totally see that. And then that's when like all the debauchery was in,
And I
you
heard
know?
that he was actually a debaucherous, lecherous, like, disgusting dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He wasn't Mr. like, I'm a Baptist preacher.
Mr. Sweet Man.
No, he was like, come on, baby, in the back room with me.
Uh-huh.
So now we got streets named after him. He had a big memorial. Maybe his assassination was script.
Maybe.
Maybe that was all just like a Hollywood movie. Because back then in the 60s, you could do a Hollywood movie and all the people would just believe it. It's coming through the TV. Think
Right.
about how mesmerized they
Yeah, and you didn't even really have to like come up with like really like realistic special effects like you would have to now, you know?
No. And look at all the assassinations that took place in rapid succession. It
Yeah,
was
a lot.
JFK, RFK, and MLK. They all got, if you had a K for your last name, you're no good. So I'm thinking that those could have been all been script, and all those dudes went to Antarctica. They played their role. Although I'm starting to think Kennedy might have been a good guy, but MLK I don't think was.
Mhm.
So what this episode we're kind of talking about is how we have social justice warriors foisted on us that we're supposed to admire, and like Cesar Chavez proves, is they're scumbags.
And then what ends up happening is they get all of these little followers to jump on board with the cause,
Hmm.
and they just basically carry out the plan because they want to jump on the bandwagon.
They convince them that the Culture Club plan is virtuous.
Yeah,
And so they go, oh, good, I'm doing such a good thing.
right.
Like Harvey Milk was another one. He was like a big advocate for gay rights. And, come on, gay marriage is fine. And, there's nothing wrong with being gay.
So maybe that was to usher in the whole gay marriage thing.
Totally. Exactly. And he comes out and he acts like, poor gays, they're so oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do things to protect them. Well, he was carrying out the Culture Club agenda. Who is the other one? Oh, how about Roe?
Roe
Roe.
versus Wade.
So what
Yeah.
came out later was okay, like we also idolize Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was instrumental in passing Roe versus Wade.
Right.
Comes out
So maybe that was all a script.
she's from that country from 1940.
Mm-mm.
Then
Why does it always go back to
and
that?
I always and so they're pressing Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade is such a disgusting, scandalous deception. That lady comes out and she got paid. So this is true. She got paid. She comes out and she goes, I got raped by a black dude, and then I was gonna die from the pregnancy. The pregnancy was just gonna kill me for some
It was a
reason.
deadly
It was
pregnancy.
a dead, yeah. It's like that black baby was gonna kill me.
Mm.
So I had to get an abortion, and it was to save my life. And so we're going to pass a law that abortion's okay. We need to have that be okay. And then she comes out later and she goes, yeah, I was never raped. I got paid by the CIA to do that. Oh, okay. So, but we still have the law on the books, you know. I think it's like the executive order, but we're still like our Supreme Court went along with that.
Yeah,
That's lame. So she's totally part of the culture club, and we're supposed to like revere her,
right.
you know? So they do this. That's kind of like one of their ways that they do it. They go, here's somebody for you to look up to and emulate.
Yeah, and so like that is in history books and everything, Roe versus Wade.
Hmm.
But when the truth comes out about stuff after the fact, do they ever correct it and apologize?
No,
Like, did they make an addendum to the history books and say, "Oh, oopsie, this lady was actually like lying and she was paid to say this,"
no, there's
you
probably
know?
some 12-year-old girl reading about it right now and
Yeah,
going, oh my God.
yeah.
Oh my God. And then Trump is so bad because he overturned it.
Yeah, and I respect these women and I want to be just like them. In fact, this is funny. I saw this little girl. I was at this costume party. It was about like almost a year ago, and this little girl, like about maybe 11 or 12, was dressed up like Ruth Bader
Ginsburg.
Ginsburg.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was her costume.
so gross.
I'm like, what little girl is gonna pick that?
My
It's weird.
my sister and my mom love her, and they think she's great, and they call her RBG or whatever.
RBG. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
RBG. Yeah. And she was so just gross and an activist. You're not supposed to be an activist on the Supreme Court.
No,
The Supreme Court
you're
is supposed to
supposed to,
be you
yeah,
have like the statue of justice has a blindfold on and the hand over their mouth and covers their ears.
yeah,
That's how you're supposed to be with
yeah.
justice.
You're supposed to be non-biased.
And she was totally biased.
Hmm.
She was a total like I bet Ruth Bader Ginsburg back in the 60s, she probably went over and had tea with Clara Piven. She like hung out with them.
Totally.
Yeah. She was like, I'll be right over and we'll talk about how we can kill white people.
Men especially.
White men especially. Do we have anyone else?
Well, you mentioned I don't know if he's really in the same class, but it's kind of like a funny one. What was his name? Gerard or Gerald from Subway?
Jared.
Jared.
Jared from Subway.
Jared
Okay.
from Subway.
So Jared from Subway became
He was like this average guy who
he was fat.
supposedly lost all this weight by eating Subway. I'm not really, I think that's
I
all
doubt
script
that.
too.
No way,
Yeah.
dude. Subway's fattening. Every
Yeah.
time I go in there, I feel like I'm bloated.
Yeah.
Even it's, if you go in there and you get like just vegetables on a piece of bread, no
But
cheese,
that bread is fattening,
totally.
and it's probably full of chemicals.
I don't think Subway is a healthy alternative. As a matter of fact, if you're trying to lose weight, I would stay out of Subway.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if he was actually legitimately eating like, McDonald's burgers every day before that, and then he switched to Subway, he might be saving some calories. But
Even
yeah,
still, I
yeah.
don't know. But then it comes out he's a total chomo and he goes to jail. So it wasn't like he was accused of being a chomo. They had evidence and he went to jail.
What's a chomo?
That's the prison term for someone who, little boys.
Ew.
Yeah.
So he was this social icon, I guess you could
He
say,
was
for a
on the
while.
commercials.
Yeah, he was on all those commercials and people thought it was so great and they thought he was so cool.
Oh, remember
He
he was
looked
on
like
a
a nice
reality
guy.
show.
Yeah, he looked like a nice guy, but it turns out he's like a pedo.
Same with Cesar Chavez.
Hmm.
Because I think what it is the culture club doesn't foist you unless they go, you're good.
Well, we've talked about this. Like, you will not be an A-list actor or in the club unless you sell your soul
You gotta sell your soul.
and you're foisted then.
And then I think another thing, so there's a couple of criteria. One of them is, are you Ryan Reynolds? You're a psychopath? You're in.
Yeah.
Here's your business card. What does it say?
Shut up.
And then you have Jared from Subway, and they go, good, good, good. You're in the culture club. You're not a psychopath, really. I guess you're kind of a psychopath, but what it is we have you on video having sex with a little boy. So now you're gonna do what we tell you to do.
Yeah,
So good, we'll foist you until the evidence comes out, and then you go down.
right.
So that's another example. And so you have to question these people. Like George Herbert Walker Bush got a huge. Remember, we were told to watch his funeral. Like it was on all the channels.
Yeah,
And his funeral was this long thing, and Obama's there, and Trump is there.
yeah,
And that guy was a scumbag, dude.
totally.
He was, first of all,
First of all, I think he was married to a man.
I,
That lady,
dude,
she looked like Mrs. Doubtfire.
I heard that you talking about Barbara Bush.
Yeah,
Oh, Barbara Bush. Dude, she makes Miss Doubtfire look hot.
yeah,
And dude, she was so gnarly. But I heard she's related to Aleister Crowley.
yeah. It's true.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
So totally plausible. So George Herbert Walker Bush, total evil. He did the original Iraq War, and he also was implicated in JFK's assassination, and he also was the guy who he goes, New World Order. And he goes, we're going to have a New World Order where it's going to be um, law and order, not the law of the jungle. And he was talking, he did this whole speech where he goes, we're not about to make that same mistake again. So he was talking about how the New World Order is taking over and we're not ever letting power out of our hands again.
Wow.
And so he gets a huge like memorial. And then he was the dude who, remember I told you he was in the wheelchair like toward the end of his life, and the nurse walks by to go give him his like water sippy cup, and he grabs her ass
Oh my
on
gosh.
video.
Wow.
Totally.
Dirty old man.
Totally. He was like, oh, and then she was like, whoa. And then it was like on video. So he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
So it's another example. Scumbags are totally foisted as heroes. You know, if somebody is told that at this point, if the news comes out and puts somebody up on a pedestal as a hero, guaranteed they're a scumbag.
It's gonna come out.
Guaranteed. No, none of these people are good. Plus, their accolades and their accomplishments are always virtue signaling.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all to orchestrate. It's social engineering. It's all whatever they're saying that they did was so great. There's a reason for that because they want to orchestrate some movement or something with that they know the followers will jump on board with and
The
carry out.
followers
They'll carry out the plan.
the followers are very important
Yeah, they're
because the followers,
instrumental.
what they'll do is with these types of figures, so the ones that we're talking about today, what they're doing is they are creating this media morality. So these people are the ones who tell you what's moral and good,
Hmm.
and that morality is inverted because it's actually evil always.
Right.
Like Cesar Chavez. I mean, that dude was like advocating for illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not virtuous. But they're like, no, no, look at how you are so racist. It's like, no, I'm not racist, dude. You shouldn't be able to just. I don't mind if we have a worker program, but Cesar Chavez's whole thing is like, no, you don't understand. We will not be able to get all the crops done unless we bring people from Mexico.
Hmm.
And I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that white people could do all the crops, you know? There's no reason. Like, if you paid me good enough, I'll pick the fuck out of some strawberries. Yeah, I will,
I
dude.
think you're too tall though. I've noticed it works better for they're all like really short
I am
because
4 foot
they
one.
make those. Have you noticed that they make those rows of strawberries like they're kind of built up? So the people that are walking in between the rows picking them are like it's almost like they're at waist high.
Yeah,
Like because I mean they still have to bend over. That's hard work. That is like
it
hard
is
work
hard
all
work.
day. But
It
they
is
don't have
hard
to
work.
bend over as far as somebody who's taller, you
Yeah,
know?
okay, true, but we don't have to import hundreds of millions of people to do our crops.
Yeah.
I think that's a lie. It's kind of like the UN replacement agenda, where they go, well, whites are not reproducing at rates where they can sustain the economy. So we're going to bring in 600 million third world barbarians.
But simultaneously we want to reduce the population. So
Mhm.
it
We're
doesn't
giving
really
you,
it doesn't really add up.
we're going to give you sucralose that makes you so you can't get it up,
You're
but you're not
infertile.
replacing. So,
And we're
yeah,
going to give the all of those people that we bring in, we're going to give them lots of vitamins and stuff
we're
so
going to give them
they're going to
vitamins.
reproduce like rabbits.
Yeah, and then the other false morality is those people lives matter. That was predicated on, I can't remember the guy's name, but he got killed at the apartment complex down in Florida, and the one security guard was a Mexican dude, and he shot the guy Trayvon.
Trayvon Martin.
So BLM was predicated on that incident.
Yeah.
Trayvon Martin was like totally trying to kill that security guard, and he killed him in self-defense. But they turned it into our young blacks is getting killed out there. And it's like, well, dude, like there was another one too where they went, and then I can't remember her name, but there was some girl who they were going to arrest her for dealing drugs, and her and her boyfriend are in bed, and they pull out like weapons on the cops,
Yeah.
and then they get killed, and they go, "Well, she's a victim."
Yeah.
No, if you pull weapons on a cop,
You're
you're
prob
asking for it.
it's probably not gonna end well.
And then Porch Boyd.
Yeah.
We saw what happened with Porch Boyd. He
Yeah.
gets he gets like memorialized and canonized as a saint.
Yeah.
We watched the video, hour and 20 minutes of the cops handling him with kid gloves. He's totally high on fentanyl.
He's in the back seat, they're not even touching him, and he's screaming, "I can't breathe."
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. You go,
Probably because he was, like, tripping.
sir, you're having a fentanyl overdose because you just took a lot. There's no one in the car with you. The door's wide open. There's plenty of ventilation. And they kept going, just sit down. And he's like laying down and fighting against them. And then even when the dude put the knee on him, I did some research on that.
Mm.
That was textbook training from the police.
Yeah.
They train you to use your knee on the back of their neck. Because that's how like dude, Porch Boyd was like 6'6", 250-pound black dude.
Yeah.
And he was like a 6-foot white dude that weighed like 200 pounds. Well, you're gonna have to use a special technique to keep him down on the ground,
Right.
especially he's high on fentanyl. Oh, and that reminds me, Rodney
I
King.
was just gonna bring up Rodney King. What do you think about him?
Oh, I remember the joke. Remember the joke?
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah, they said they treated him like a king, a Rodney King. Rodney King was just kind of like Porch Boyd.
He was like the precursor to.
Look at how you can't even say Porch Boyd's real name
I know.
because that's such an inflammatory word.
Totally.
So Porch Boyd, very similar to Rodney King. Rodney King was so high, dude. He was like, I think he was on like heroin. Oh no, he was on PCP. He
PCP.
was on
That was like the popular drug in like what, the
totally,
80s?
totally. It was in
Yeah.
some movies.
And they said that like people on PCP they like had superpowers and they could not even be controlled. They were super
That's what it
strong.
was.
Yeah.
He was super Rodney.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was the cops, he was driving like a maniac
In Pacoima.
in Pacoima. Which sucks,
I
dude.
lived in Pacoima for a while. That's
Pacoima's
another story.
it's a cute little town.
Not really.
Anyway,
There's one end of it that's kind of nice, like across from a golf course, and that's actually where he was.
well, that's what happens
Yeah.
because you can drive like shit in the hood
Yeah.
and nothing's gonna happen to you. Once you get into a nice white area, you better slow down
Yeah.
because there's gonna be a cop there. So what happened is he drove into the nice white area in Pacoima, and he ended up being a menace. They asked him to get out of the vehicle. He resisted arrest, just like George Floyd.
Yeah.
Just like him. He resisted arrest. He was high on PCP. He's attacking these cops. They're beating him with like batons and he's still resisting arrest.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it wasn't helpful that Daryl Gates, who was the police chief, he was like, "We got to do something about the blacks," because you remember back then that was when NWA literally like came out.
Right.
And NWA was kind of organic. It was like literally like angry, hostile, violent black men. That was, and so those people from that country from 1948, they're like, good, good, good. So that was another one. And remember Rodney King. So what happened was the cops got exonerated and they burnt down LA.
Yeah.
I lived there when that
They
happened.
totally burnt it down. That's
So,
crazy. Riots and stuff.
and that's kind of like those people lives matter.
Yeah.
They did riots and they did all this stuff and
Seems
it's
to
all
be a recurring theme.
it's a playbook.
Yeah.
It's like when John Elway has 2 minutes left and he's got to score a touchdown and they're on the 20-yard line. They run a play and then they run another play. That's what this is.
Yeah.
It's a play.
Totally. I wonder what ever happened to PCP. That drug sort of disappeared.
I think it became fentanyl. That's what
Oh,
it
they
is.
rebranded
Fentanyl's
it.
the new
They
PCP.
rebranded it. Totally.
But that was the thing, dude. He was totally like so high that he couldn't feel anything. They were beating him with batons and he was still coming after him.
God.
And then they had that one dude. So then another thing that those people lives matter was predicated on was the dude who attacks the cop with a machete. Did you see this guy?
No.
So he looked like did you ever see When Nature Calls with Jim Carrey?
No.
Oh my God. It's so funny. And he's pet detective.
Oh
It's Ace
yeah.
Ventura,
Yeah.
pet
Okay.
detective.
Yeah.
So he goes to this African tribe and what was the little short dude's name from In Living Color? That's who this guy looked like. He
Okay.
was the little short dude from Living Color, the little black guy. Oh, what was his fucking name? Anyways, this guy, he attacks the cops with a machete. He's like, and he comes at the cops with a machete and he gets shot and killed. Well,
Surprise.
those people lives matter. They all rioted for that. They're like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, come on now!" And then that's when you'll have people like Obama come out and say, "Our black men are getting killed in the streets."
They're just expressing themselves.
That's expressive. I'm
Yeah.
attacking a cop with a machete. That's how I express myself. So I think that's kind of the common theme here. What we're saying is the culture club will take scumbags that they control and put them up as like virtuous
Put them on a
people.
pedestal, give them like streets and murals and all this stuff, put them in the history
Oh yeah,
books.
they made a Porch Boyd mural. He just looks retarded.
Yeah,
That guy.
I know.
He's like, well, I held a gun to my pregnant girlfriend's stomach, you know? That's lame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anybody else? Who else do we have?
I think there's a lot, but I think what we were just kind of like sort of drawing attention to just the idea that maybe these people that they teach us are heroes aren't really all good people.
FDR.
FDR, yeah.
I think FDR is like put up as like just this virtuous, almost saintly figure. I'm thinking he was a psychopath. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Like Pearl Harbor reeks of Tavistock Institute
yeah.
in Japan.
That whole thing was orchestrated.
That was
That
all
kind of
orchestrated.
seems like the sort of like early sort of 9/11 type incident that happened, you
False
know what I
flag.
mean? Yeah.
And then also the New Deal.
Yeah.
The New Deal was kind of communism.
Yeah, that was a bad deal.
It was a bad deal. It was a lot of people say, well, the New Deal saved us from the Depression. Well, the Depression might have been orchestrated.
I think it was.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Totally orchestrated.
Yeah. It was all about banks and who was running the banks,
Yep.
you know?
And they were probably doing like fractious lending and
Yep.
getting people into debt
Yep.
and then giving loans to people that they knew they couldn't pay back. That happened in 2008 too.
Yep.
And you look back on 2008 after all of the investigations. I don't know if you remember this, but I read copious articles in the wake of the 2008 financial collapse because I wanted to know what happened. It was kind of fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And literally, the consensus was this was not organic. This was completely done on purpose. It was either neglect or it was intentional, which I think it was intentional. So they do these things, and they do these things with people too. And so they'll say, well, this guy, look at, he's standing up for your rights. David Hogg, he's David Hogg is very passionate about gun control. That's why
He just happened to be at like two mass shootings in
just happened to show up. He's just
He's
there.
got really bad luck.
Uh,
Maybe he's orchestrating those.
who's totally a cuck? There's a lot of these Texas guys that come out as cucks. There's a new senator that's a total woke leftist cuck. But remember Beto?
Yeah,
I'm Beto O'Rourke.
right.
I'm a white dude that's from Ireland, but I have a Latino name to try to pander.
Uh-huh. They're phonies.
They're total phonies, and they're put up as these virtuous people.
And then all of the little followers who like don't really actually investigate anything. They just follow along because it's trendy or, like you said, they're virtue signaling. They jump on board with these things and they carry out the plan.
Virtue signaling is a disgusting thing.
It is.
I hate virtue signaling because you know what virtue signaling is? It's I don't do a good deed unless someone's watching.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is. If you're gonna go give Starbucks to well, first of all, don't give Starbucks to a homeless dude. You're giving him mind control. Go give him something healthy. But if you're gonna go give something to a homeless dude, do it secretly.
Yeah. You don't have to make a production about it.
Jesus says, give with your left hand without your right hand knowing what you did.
Hmm.
That's the way you're supposed to vert because then God, it says, because then God who sees all things will reward you publicly for what you did in secret.
That's true.
Whereas if you go make a big presentation about your virtue, God says, you've already received your reward.
Right.
So that's why just
Wouldn't you rather get your reward from God?
get your reward from God. That's what you're supposed to do. And then He will reward you publicly for what you did privately. But these people, that's not, no, they don't believe that. They need to make sure that their virtuous deeds are televised.
It's trendy. They want to post it on their Instagram.
LinkedIn became very virtue signaling.
Mm.
I used to see all these people just like, you know what was virtue signal?
What?
Remember in Cooties, all the people in scrubs doing the dances?
Yeah. Because
Like,
they were so overrun with patients and so busy, they had time to do that.
let's do a big orchestrated
Yeah,
dance.
we'll have dance practice today at 5.
Yeah,
Everybody show up.
I know we're totally overrun with dead people for Cooties, but let's just take about 4.5 hours to choreograph this dance in our scrubs. But see, that was a virtue signal
Yeah,
because those people were like, we're on the front lines of Cooties.
totally.
But the truth is, they're the triple M's to the P that were carrying out the deadly protocols.
Right.
So that's a perfect example of what we're talking about. I
Mm.
think that it encapsulates it perfectly. It's these people who are put up as virtuous are actually evil.
Totally.
What's white pill? What is white pill? White pill is if the media is foisting someone on you as a hero,
Question
be
it.
aware.
Question.
Question that.
Hmm.
Look into them. Go do some research.
Yeah,
Find out why,
yeah,
because it's not organic.
yeah.
Anything else?
I think that was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
This was a quick one, but this was a good one. It was Cesar Chavez.
Well, we had to address what was happening at the moment, right?
Caesar, dude. What's going on? He was kind of Bill Cosbying girls out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm. Out in the fields.
I need you to help me with something over here by the lemons. Come here. All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.